Today, we're looking at a really interesting indicator called Channels with Patterns by the folks over at ChartPrime. Now, this tool is pretty clever because it tries to draw trend channels on your chart faster than most traditional methods, and then it combines those channels with classic candlestick patterns to help you spot potential trades. We're going to dive into what this indicator is all about and how you might use it in your trading. If you find this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button down below. Let's get started. Alright, so first things first, you'll want to get this indicator onto your chart. Head over to TradingView. That's the platform I'm using here. If you don't have an account yet, no worries. There's a sign-up link right in the video description. Once you're logged in, load up whatever market and time frame you like to trade. Then, click the Indicators button at the top, type in Channels with Patterns, and look for the one created by ChartPrime. Go ahead and click to add it to your chart. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Channels with Patterns indicator by ChartPrime. So, what's it all about? In a nutshell, this indicator aims to draw trend channels super quickly by using things like pivots and market volatility to estimate where the price might bounce around. But the cool part is, it doesn't just draw the channel. It also looks for specific candlestick patterns, like engulfing bars or hammers, but only when they appear near the top or bottom edges of the channel, giving you potential confirmation for reversals or bounces. Now let's look at what you actually see on the screen. You'll notice these channels drawn automatically. Usually, there's an upper line, a lower line, and sometimes a center line. Think of the upper line as potential resistance and the lower line as potential support. The really neat thing is these little labels that pop up, like maybe EG for an engulfing pattern or H for a hammer. These patterns only show up if the price is pushing against the upper or lower boundary of the channel, acting as extra confirmation. And you'll also see breakup or breakdown labels if the price actually breaks completely out of the channel structure. If we dive into the settings, which you can open by clicking the little gear icon on the indicator name, you'll see there's a ton you can customize under the Inputs tab. First up, you've got presets, which let you quickly set things up for stocks, Forex, or crypto, or you can stick with user to tweak everything yourself. Then you can choose the style for how pivots are found, using either wick or body of the candles. Break style lets you decide if a channel break is confirmed by the candle close or just the high-low. There's an instant mode checkbox which, if ticked, tries to draw channels faster. Below that, you get into the ATR settings like ATR length, offset center to shift the channel up or down, size to control the channel width based on volatility using an ATR multiplier, and padding percent to adjust the zones near the edges. Next is the pivot section with pivot length and pivot look forward to fine-tune how pivot points are detected. Under smoothing, there's the average HL length, which smooths out the highs and lows used for the channel calculation. Further down, you can toggle which candle patterns you want the indicator to look for, like enable hammer, enable inverted hammer, enable bullish engulfing, and enable bearish engulfing. You can also choose to extend channel into the future, show break label when a break occurs, and set the channel history length to decide how many past channels stay on your chart. Plus, there are all the visual tweaks you'd expect under both Inputs and Style tabs, changing channel colors, fill transparency, break label colors, candle pattern colors, and even setting up alerts for things like new channels, breaks, or specific candle patterns appearing. It gives you a lot of control to get it looking and working just how you like it. Okay, so how can we actually use this Channels with Patterns indicator in our trading? Well, the main idea is to use the channels to see the general trend and identify potential support and resistance zones. The real power comes from the confluence, waiting for the price to reach one of the channel boundaries and getting a candlestick pattern signal at the same time. For a bullish setup, you might be watching the price come down towards the lower channel boundary. If you see a bullish pattern pop up right there, like a bullish engulfing or a hammer label, that could be a stronger signal that the price might bounce back up, potentially offering a long entry opportunity. Conversely, for a bearish setup, you'd look for the price to push up towards the upper channel boundary. If a bearish pattern label appears, like a bearish engulfing, while the price is in that upper zone, it adds confluence that the price might reverse and head down, suggesting a potential short entry. And don't forget those break labels. When you see a breakup or breakdown label, it means the price has decisively moved outside the channel, which could signal the start of a new trend or a strong continuation, potentially offering breakout trade opportunities. So, to wrap things up, the Channels with Patterns indicator from ChartPrime is a pretty unique tool. It tries to give you a more forward-looking view of trend channels by forming them quickly, and it cleverly filters classic candlestick patterns, showing them only at key channel boundaries to provide potential confluence for reversal or bounce trades. It also clearly flags channel breakouts for potential trend shifts. Now remember, this video is just to show you how the indicator works. The strategies discussed are purely based on indicators and are for educational purposes. This is not financial advice. Real trading involves risk, and you should always add your own analysis, whether that's price action, market context, or fundamental analysis, before making any trading decisions. If you found value in this video, remember to leave a like, or even better, consider subscribing to stay tuned for more indicator reviews and trading ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.